Good morning. It's taken me over 20 years to earn a college degree. I can look back at my circumstances and identify all of the things that stood in my way, the barriers and obstacles, and I can pinpoint the reasons why I never arrived on this stage until today. I imagine that you can do the same. Perhaps childhood left you underprepared. An unplanned pregnancy made you the head of household rather than a college co-ed. Perhaps addiction or dependency or disease or neglect left you without the direction, motivation, assistance, or knowledge to know how to earn a degree. We all have a story to tell, and mine is probably no worse than any of yours. I carried shame and embarrassment for years associated with the fact that I didn't have a college degree. I couldn't change that, though. An education for me was out of reach. I couldn't afford one, I couldn't devote the time, and my work left me with nothing at the end of the day to give towards an education. So what I did instead was this. Woo. I read. I pursued an education of my own making. I scoured reading lists and I became familiar with the libraries in my area that would sell me their discarded copies by the boxload. I tried to give myself the best informal education that books had to offer. I'm glad I did, because the lessons I learned in those books were so profound that they would carry me through the months and years until I was able to stand here today. I'd like to share with you 3 lessons that I learned from all those readings. Lesson 1, excuses free us from taking responsibility. I had a laundry list of reasons and excuses why I would never succeed. I imagine you do too. I could continue to lean on them, or I could take responsibility and I could take action. You may have faced this situation. You likely will again. You have been wronged, and you'll be wronged again. You've been mistreated. You'll be mistreated again. Do not let these inevitabilities become your excuses. In the Poisonwood Bible, Barbara Kingsolver writes, "Don't try to make a mathematics problem with yourself in the center and everything coming out equal. When you're good, bad things will still happen. And if you're bad, you can still get lucky. How you respond is up to you." Lesson 2, let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism masquerades as a virtue. It's not virtuous. Author Elizabeth Gilbert wrote, "Perfectionism often prevents people from completing their work, and it often prevents people from beginning their work." No one is perfect. You'll not be able to do everything perfectly. You cannot allow this to prevent you from trying. If you're anything like me, you heard a voice in your head that told you not to try, not to start, not to finish, not to dream, and just to quit because you couldn't do it perfectly. That same voice probably told you you could never earn a college degree. As you sit here today, aren't you glad you ignored that voice? Continue to ignore it. Lesson 3, you have far more to offer this world than you realize. When we fool ourselves into thinking that we have nothing to offer and that no one needs us, we're only thinking of ourselves. This is a cop-out. It allows us to ignore how our own existence impacts others. Do not be mistaken. You can blow through this world and never have a positive impact on anyone. But it will be only because of your choice. It will have nothing to do with your abilities. You have the ability to impact others and to change lives. Pastor, author, neighbor, and friend Fred Rogers once said, "If you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you may never even dream of, there is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. Understand that the world needs you. Be willing to share yourself with the rest of us." Today we celebrate, but the real world awaits. The degree you earned is not a magic wand, and the road ahead of you may suddenly not get any easier just because you have a degree. This degree will not validate your character. You must do that for yourself. This degree will not prove to others that you are an individual of integrity. You must do that for yourself. This degree will not tell others that you're willing to grow and stretch and become the best version of yourself. You must do that on your own. There's one thing I'm taking away today, and I want to leave with you. It's this: you now have a degree, a formal education, but you must not stop learning. You can't stop admitting and acknowledging that there is room inside of you to do more, to be more. There is room for you to be confused, scared, doubtful, and insecure, and to simultaneously be brave, bold, and courageous in the pursuit of a better you. If you ever doubt that, remember this day. Your presence here today is proof that our past failings don't negate our futures. Thank you, and keep reading.